I remember having a conversation with one of my friends, and he knew a coworker who was really thin and had a hard time gaining weight. He told me this coworker spoke to a trainer at the gym, and the trainer assessed him as very weak and told him not to lift heavy at all. Now, to me, that's kind of demotivating for wanting to get big. There's nothing wrong with starting off light, which is recommended if you haven't worked out before. You got to start off light and gradually build up your intensity and build up your volume so your muscles won't become overly sore and you won't get injured. But in order for a really skinny guy or a hard gainer to get big, despite being hard to gain weight, he has to work out heavy. He's got to eventually lift heavy weights, whether it's sets of 5 reps, sets of 10 reps, even sets of 2 or 3 reps. As long as he's training heavy on a regular basis, over time the calorie intake should naturally increase and he should be able to get bigger. Now, everyone gets bigger at a different pace. So some people will get bigger when they deadlift 315, while other people might have to deadlift 405 to get the same size as a guy who deadlifts 315, even at the exact same height. But as long as your strength is increasing, your muscle size will increase gradually. Assuming you want to not take steroids, and assuming you want to stay healthy and eat clean food. I am not a hard gainer myself. Considering that I've been a fat guy for half my life, I had a hard time putting on a large amount of muscle with low amounts of body fat. I was able to do both easily, put on muscle and put on body fat at the same time. I was not very good at maintaining muscle and losing body fat at a good pace. But what I'm saying is, the best way for me to get bigger muscles, or just get bigger in general, was to keep increasing the weight of the exercise. Keep pushing myself to lift heavy. I don't mean lift to failure or lift past failure, but as long as I'm conditioning myself to handle a lot of weights. So that means trying to bench press more than your body weight, trying to use all the exercise equipment, machines or free weights with higher weights. Get close to maximum weight of the weight stacks. Even one time I had a quick weight gain when I started working out my legs on a regular basis, and I got my leg press past 500 pounds and my weight went up. The size of my legs went up too. But for you to get into a bodybuilding size, like the typical ones that compete, you gotta be able to lift even more weights than most people lift in the gym. Like, these guys were benching over 300-400 pounds, even though they don't have an interest in training for strength like a powerlifter. But that's the only way you can get big. You gotta lift a lot of weight. Even these guys squat like 400 or 500 pounds. Now, how lean you look is based on your diet, based on your macronutrients, based on how clean you eat, how much you sleep, how healthy your hormones are. When I got big, I got really fat because my hormones were unhealthy. I was training way too much without sufficient recovery. I was eating unhealthy for all 3 of my meals, so I had a constant elevation levels of insulin. That way I kept storing body fat and had no access to growth hormone. I wasn't eating enough dietary cholesterol and wasn't sleeping enough, so my testosterone levels were low. I did get big to the point, because I weighed about 220, 230 pounds at about 5'10", 5'11" in height. And I've had people ask me if I played football, or even worked as a security guard, like being a bouncer. But I never played football or never worked as a security guard before.